everybody, welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. This is day 2 of Evergreen month, which means we're exploring a key mechanic from Magic the Gathering, and we've constructed an entire deck around it. And the title is right here. We are discussing Vigilance today. 27 creatures, 24 lands, average 3.3. It's a little bit cheaper than yesterday's Trample deck. We'll go through it right now. Actually, before I do, just in case there's a new person playing who doesn't know all the terms yet, Vigilance is normally when you go to attack your opponent with a creature, you tap it, and if you were playing the physical game, you tilt it sideways. And that means that it's unavailable to defend the next turn. The advantage of Vigilance is that they don't tap, so you can attack them and they're still available. They have enough energy, so to speak, to still act to defend against any attacks from other creatures the next turn from your opponent. So what we decided to do is put as many vigilant creatures in one place as we could and see how that changes the equation for the on-the-ground battle. Okay, so here we start with a solid footing. It's a flash enchantment, and as long as a creature has vigilance, it assigns combat power equal to its toughness rather than its power. So if you've got something that's got a higher toughness than power, suddenly it's going to bump up that power, and since it's got flash, you can cast it in the middle of a battle, so you can be a surprise to your opponent. We've got Speaker of the Heavens, who has vigilance. Adventurous Impulse to try and get at some of our lands a little bit. Life Goes On for a little bit of health. Alpine Watchdog, a 2/2 vigilance. I probably don't need to say that these creatures have vigilance anymore. You're going to spot the pattern pretty quick. This is cool. Expedition Healer. He gets lifelink as well, as long as you control another cleric. And look, there's a cleric, a Hallowed Priest we can bump up. 2 swift responses to take out some of the bigger creatures from the enemy. 1 Greenwood Sentinel is very simple. 2/2 soldier with a Elf Scout with vigilance. Inscription of Abundance. This one's a nice one that you can kick, and instead of just doing one of the 3 things, you can do all 3 things that you want. Basically pump them up, get yourself some life, and get rid of a creature. Something to get rid of enchantments or artifacts, or maybe crocs or something that could escape from their graveyard. Murasa Rootgrazer, vigilance. This is also to help us get some lands down. Spare supplies for just a little bit of ramp. Can't have too many of those. Banishing Light. Again, we don't have a lot of removal in this card, but we do need some. Keensight Mentor doesn't have vigilance by herself, but she puts a vigilant counter on any non-human creature we control. Now, we don't really care about adding vigilance to many other creatures in this deck, but you can tap her and put a +1 counter on every other creature that you control on the battlefield that has vigilance at the time. So that can be a really good game changer. Or force multiplier, as we like to say. 1 more removal, Legion's Judgment, to get rid of powerful creatures. Linden, the Steadfast Cream, to give us some life as well when we attack. 1 copy Cultivate to get the lands that we need. 1 Mosscoat Goriak. This is one of the ones that he's 2/4, so his toughness is bigger. So if we flash that enchantment, the solid footing up on him, he'd become a 4/4 all of a sudden during attack instead of a 2/4. Alert Heatbonder. This is where we really get our life gain. At the beginning of our end step, we get 1 life for every creature that we control that has vigilance. So if we have a small army of 3 or 4 per turn, that's going to add up nice. 1 copy Crystalline Giant because he can get vigilance. 1 Archon of Sun's Grace. This is sort of just not there because they have vigilance, because they don't, but we do need to be aware of flyers. Basri's Lieutenant has protection from multicolored as well as vigilance. Cubwarden, nice little mutate we can use to get some lifelink. Emeria Captain, flying in vigilance. Faith's Fetters. Felidar Retreat. This has potential to gain vigilance to those who don't have it with the landfall. If we want to just add a +1/+1 counter when we put down a land, any creature that doesn't have vigilance will have it all of a sudden. Luminous Broodmoth. This is really cool. I only have 1 copy of it, but when a creature you control without flying dies, you get it back and it can fly. So what's better than having a bunch of ground troops with vigilance? Suddenly having a flying army with vigilance. Now we're talking power. 1 Prowling Felidar, which also takes advantage of landfall to get plussed up with vigilance. Frondland Felidar. This is one that's interesting. If creatures you control with vigilance have the ability where you spend 1 mana and tap them, and you tap any target creature. So if we have say 7 or 8 creatures run around and 4 of them are small, but we get Felidar down, we could use half of our creatures to tap all of theirs and pave the way for a clear attack for the rest of our troops. Okay, one more flyer, just because we're coming up against dragon decks, and the white angel decks and angel cleric decks are really in vogue right now, so we really have to keep in mind whenever we create any deck, whatever our theme is, we do have to have some control for flyers. Majestic Auricorn, another mutate that has Vigilance. Rumbling Sentry, nice little giant. This he doesn't have Vigilance. We've got a couple of ways to give Vigilance to creatures that don't have it in this deck, but this is another one that he can take advantage of the solid footing all of a sudden if we haven't used it, and go from a 3/6 to a 6/6. One Serra Angel, there's a flyer again, but has Vigilance already. And then we have, I'm freezing, Valorous Steed, Elder Gargaroth, Sentinel Spider, who has reach against flyers, and Grasping Giant. This guy's pretty deadly because anybody who blocks him is just going to get exiled before they deal damage. And also Rumbling Sentry and Grasping Giant are nice to have in there too, because I have Realm-Cloaked Giant, so if I need to, I can clear the board and destroy all the other non-giant creatures and still have 1 or 2 around. And this particular guy happens to have Vigilance as well. The rest is lands, and that's the deck. Hopefully I went slow enough that if there was a card in there you're not used to, you could see it. We do publish the deck list down below in the YouTube text, so you can go follow that, or just freeze the video and study the cards to your heart's content. But we're going to take this deck out for a spin and see how it does. We are a new channel, so if you like what you're seeing, we've got a lot more to give you if we get the support. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button anytime you feel like, and help us out. We need some validation here. I'm fighting my evil twin. Only 2 lands, which is not ideal, but we've got some cheap cards. We should be able to handle it. Let's see if the next card is a land. Yes, we'll take it. That's perfect. We should have a standard sized deck. Okay. Let's see. We do need a couple of whites to get Archon down later, so we'll do that. And we'll see if they want to waste any of their nice removal spells on something as small as a 2/2. And what did we talk about flyers? Did we mention flyers? We did talk about flyers, didn't we? Okay, in order to get Archon out, we need more land. And my opponent will let me do it. Let's go ahead and get some forests. And since we have Vigilance, we're not going to wait. We're just going to attack right away. And that's the glory that is Vigilance. If you're like me, you have visions of this grandiose army marching across and overpowering your opponent. And half the time they manage to get bigger, better creatures out than you. And by the time you get one good creature that's good to womp on them, your life total's so low that big creature has to stand behind and just do pure defense. So the nice thing about Vigilance is, let's put her out instead. You don't need to keep them on defense. You can play offense and defense like a nice little strong arm Iron Man football team. They're ready with the removal though. Saw that coming. That guy gets pumped up every time he hits me. Okay, you might have another removal, but I gotta try. Bring that down while we can real quick. Thank you. That's good. If our Archon survives, we can use the Inscription of Abundance next turn. You got another creature or you got removal? What are you going to do here? We could have a staring contest. It's going to attack. No. I don't trust you. Alright, he might have something like invulnerability or something. indestructible is really what I mean to say. But he's getting so strong, we do have to try something. So, what do we got? 7 mana? We've got enough to cast this. We're going to do all 3 things. We're going to put 2 counters on that one. We're going to target me to get the life. We're going to target the creature to fight. And we're going to target the opposing creature to lose. Okay, you're holding on to something, buddy. What is it? Nothing? You're going to let us have that. That is weird. What were you holding on to the mana for then, Trenton? You gonna kill the Archon? Okay, you need to do one more thing than that. Waiting. And why didn't you do that before? Oh well. And do you want to activate that, or let's go ahead and put another creature down. Again with the flyers. I guess he might have more removal, but we're going to do that. Let's go see what else we can get out of this deck. Ah, good. I like that. Okay, he's got a big enough creature we can't actually attack this time. But I like where our life total is. He's got to be feeling a little bit of pressure. 1 point of damage, that's not enough. You're gonna hit me? Did your skeleton just shoot me with an arrow? Alright, what can we do? Can we destroy you? I think we can. And can we attack? We could attack with 1. Let's put you out. And let's put you out. Gotcha. He could have a mass wipe and get rid of the entire board of creatures, but let's hope he doesn't. Oh, look at that. Yet another flyer. We don't have enough to stop that. Do we? Okay, so let's act a little bit dismayed and passive. We'll go get a plains, and that's all we're gonna do. We're not going to bother blocking that, but we do have swift response ready. You hit me with another arrow? You deserve everything that's coming to you, Trenton. Come on, attack me, I dare you. Dare you! Pass to blockers. No block. Just destruction. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now we're going to put you down. We're going to put you down. And if you're going to stop him, you're going to have to double block him, which means you're going to lose at least 1 creature. I'm willing to make that trade. You are not, but that gives me 1 more health point from Alert Heat Grounder. 6 points of life. I always feel so energized when I end the battle with more health than I started. I really feel rejuvenated. It's like a really refreshing match. Oh no, you killed 1 of my creatures! Whatever shall I do? You want to do a kamikaze attack with your skeleton archers? No? You're just going to sit there and do nothing. Alright. We will show you everything we got. And we will send everything we got. Thank you. He's a good sport. He did what he could. The writing was on the wall, and that's how an army of vigilant creatures works. How much you want to bet we can do it again? Shall we try? Okay, 3 lands is an excellent start. He's got a bigger than normal deck. Let's see, what do I want here? Let's go get another plains already. Vigilance is similar to Trample. It's really designed that you want to do an offensive kind of mentality. Trample doesn't even work when you're sitting there on defense. Vigilance you can use for both offense and defense, that's the point of it, but it doesn't make much sense if you only use it for one. So if you sit back all the time because you're comfortable just defending, you're not really making full use of the Vigilance attribute, shall we say. Say hello there. Looks like we got the white-black Life Touch deck, probably. But he's going to start with Death Touch. I'm not going to do anything else other than that, huh? I would have preferred land there. I don't want any big surprises with Speaker of the Heavens in terms of life gain, though, so we're just going to take that off the board right now. It's too easy for him to get lucky with Tavern Swindler and get 3 life every turn. Death Touch and First Strike for the Crystalline Giant. He's going to get something new each time. And that's worth it. We're going to be aggressive because he's got a life gain deck. And he's probably got more than one of those little Speaker of the Heavens. This guy kind of looks like he's the leader of a cult, doesn't he? We zoom in on him sometime. I bet you he's got a funky looking face. Alright, that's the end of my turn. I'm not sure what you're all... Oh, are you going to use Tavern Swindler? Is that what you're thinking of? You had a chance. That's the other nice thing if we can... they can make that guy indestructible, I should say. We need some more land to help get a counter down. That's not what we wanted. I can put 2 counters or I can have him fight, but I don't have enough mana to do both right now. I can fly. That's not going to do much about it's indestructible, but it does put me on defense all of a sudden. That's a couple of draws now without a land. This is normally bad news. He's not having any problem getting his land drops in. We're going to fall behind real fast. Yep, called it. Indestructible and lifelink. Can't stop him. The good news is that means he's not casting another threat for me. It's just the one. But I need 2 more lands before I can deal with him properly. Or we can just, you know, kill him. I'll take that too. Ah. Okay. He doesn't have hexproof, so he could have removal or pacify. We kind of got to get in our hits while we can, even though he's going to hit us for 4 next turn. Flash would give us a +1, but unless we already have Vigilance, I don't really want to use it. It's better to be safe for somebody like Basri's Lieutenant to give him an extra +1 when it's not expected. Yep, Destroy target creature. Couldn't do much about that. Oh, and it's a tap land. Gross. Sometimes that's what the deck's going to do to you. We started off with 3 lands, which is normally enough. But if the deck sorting is just not going to give you anything, it's not going to give you anything. Is there anything left that can save? That card was absolutely useless. Let's see, they can fly over and do 1.23. I can only put out 1 creature to block, right? That doesn't do me any good against flyers, so I'm probably dead. They want to show off what else they have. It's not enough just to win. We'll let them show off. Come on. Hit us with everything. One more, you can... Hello? Is he playing with me? Why would you not attack with the 3rd one? Well, he's got Vigilance, right? But I really need to destroy this guy before he attacks. I want to wait for that as a surprise, right? If it matters. Which it doesn't, because he can just attack with all 3 creatures again. You're going to see if you can get the life. You can kill me that way. That does it. Oh no, it has to be on your turn, not mine. That didn't count. The Indulging Patrician, her effect has to kick in at her end step. It doesn't count if the life gain is during my end step. Hey! Well, that's the reason why we kept this little surprise. You can attack any time and kill me. You keep doing these extra things. Hey. That's a flash. Well, you learn something new every day. Heartless Axe still beats the solid footing. Gross. Alright, let's see what other opposition is out there tonight. Hello, Brad. Are you in college, Brad? Only 2 lands with 2 very expensive cards. 3, really. But I could use that to maybe get a 3rd one. We'll risk it. Ah. We don't have a lot of 1-drops. We got 2 of them in our opening hand. That's good. This could come in really handy, or it could just eat up a slot in our hand for the entire game. And no lands, but we can get a creature. We'll take it. It's going to be one of those decks, is it? That could help if it gets me to my land, or it could really hurt by keeping me from all the land that I need. There goes Banishing. Alright, but he didn't keep me from all my land, and we're not going to put up with that anymore. With our luck, he's got a second copy ready and raring to go anyway. I need another white source. Okay, so we need 8 cards in the graveyard and we got 4. That was not helpful at all. By all means, deck, just keep giving me the most expensive cards in the entire deck. Ah, did I call it or what? Does you no good to take out Teferi's Tutelage. Whenever you're going against the opponent with the mill deck, they always seem to have a second one not too far behind. And now we wait for the difficult choice of them to decide to get rid of Environmental Sciences. And there go 2 of my lands. That's the type of stuff that kills me. Oh, that's what he's gonna do. He's just gonna draw his hand and kill me in a turn. I can't really stop him, can I? He should have enough to do it this turn. He'll just cast this on himself. No. What are you doing? Kill me that way with the creatures instead. It doesn't matter. I have no land. Can't do a thing. Okay, we're gonna make a little adjustment because we just lost 2 games in a row to not having the right lands. So I've got to get rid of maybe 1 creature. We've got 27 creatures right now. So out of 64 cards, maybe we're a little land light. So let's get rid of the expensive one, Majestic Auricorn. I hate not having that representative for the Vigilance, but yeah, let's do it that way. We'll go down to 63. See how much of a difference that makes. Starting with 2 again, which, again, we don't like, but we've got potentially 3 of our spells we can already cast. Ah. Okay. Batter. Lifelink, you say? Lifelink meet Vigilance. Gross. Yeah, go away. Let's see, we need 3 white sources to summon Linden. Let's keep it that way. Depending on what happens here is going to determine what we do. Let's see, you could pump him up to be a 4/4. But he's probably just going to attach Skyclave again. I don't have anything to defend against flyers yet. They got a lot of cheap cards, don't they? Okay, what can we do? We can bring down her. And we don't need to worry about tapping. So if they want to trade, we'll trade. And let's get our 8 life now. You gonna get flying in first strike? I would if I were you. Excellent timing. How many cheap creatures you got in this deck? Ouch. If only there was a way for me to get exiled creatures back. She's not dead after all. Okay, Felidar's Retreat. I should play that before Cultivate. Look at that. Flying, 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 flying. Oh, because you needed another one of those, huh? Okay. Yeah, let's just give it to you now. Your flyer has flying. That's how much flying you like. At least you don't have lifelink this time. Alright. I don't have enough lands to do the other stuff anyway. Let's go ahead and get one forest as well. Can you pump you up enough to make it threatening? Take that! You're still gonna beat me, aren't you? I'm doing this wrong. I should have put down the Valorous Steed first. But Rumbling Sentry. Let's see what else we got coming up in the deck. Ah, excellent. That might be the stalling that we need. You got something that can kill me this round? No, it's land, which means you've got to defend. I love it when a plan comes to... You're going to hit me anyway? You don't have Vigilance. I'm the one who has Vigilance. See? Vigilance. When you attack, you tap. Oh, was that a rage quit? They had to have been so certain they were going to win. That's kind of nice. Thank you for the match. Okay, we're going to make one more adjustment. Let's see. We'll take out the Cubwarden. Although he can come in handy, that puts me back down to 62 cards. I still don't like the amount of lands that I'm getting per deal. Sometimes you need to add lands, sometimes you just need to cut out what you got there. But also, those two mutate players, they don't have flying. One of the disadvantages if you're looking at a Vigilance deck is you don't necessarily have a lot of flyers, unless you're just going to stack 4 Serra Angels, which I guess you could. We could always stack more Angels in it, I suppose. But I didn't want to, for the purposes of just showing off the mechanic. It's more impressive with the ground army, actually. But flying is just so popular these days. So let's take out another ground creature. Did I call it? 2 lands. They're both going to be tapped, so it doesn't really matter which one goes first. Technically, there we go. That gave me room for land, which I needed. Let's see. Adventurous Impulse. Oh, look at that. Put the rest at the bottom of the library. You know what? Let's go ahead and just take the definite land for now. We're going to shuffle it again with Fabled Passage, so maybe it'll shake the other Fabled Passage up top. Still no castable creatures yet. even though I started cutting out some of the more costly ones. And identical twins! Attack of the Twin Priests. Let's get a forest for now. Because we've got more plains in there. And we're going to need another forest if we're going to do a kicker. And if he doesn't have any life gain, that'll be what we need to block for a turn.
Never mind.
Disgusting. And you go. Okay, he's got Vigilance, so we take the shot now while we can. We're still feeling a life pressure difference from him. Having Vigilance gives us the ability to do a little tit for tat. Don't really like him that much. And we've got enough to do this now, don't we? So, who's going to be the big one who does it? You know what? Let's go ahead and beef up our Luminous Broodmoth. We'll take the life, and we'll have him go fight him. Take that, heathen scoundrel! And let's attack with... no, because he didn't attack us there. There we go. Now our life totals are about equal. I feel that we've equalized the situation a little bit. I did feel that way for a second. Okay, fine. Take it. We have two things we can do. Well, three things, but I'm not counting the Valorous Steed right now. Let's freeze him and give us some life back and see if that matters any. We might have something to get rid of that enchantment, so we're holding this in reserve. And we'll target his Light of Promise. There's no life gain for that one right now. There's no life gain for that. What is wrong with you? He doesn't have lifelink. Now maybe he's got something to buff him up, take me out. Yes, he does. It doesn't happen, but he gets to come back. He doesn't have all the buffed up power. Let's see. Which one would be more useful? Technically, Valorous Steed is what I need right now. Let's add on some more of the attack pressure. And I'll have to double block whenever he sends my way, probably. What are you gonna do? You're gonna do the lifelink. Okay. Go ahead and kill him. I can use another 3.5. Okay. He's going to add some tokens, right? I could use some land to pump him up. I gotta keep these guys free just to keep the Hallowed Priest at bay. This Angel's not much of a blocker just right now. They could have been attacking with it, but they're low enough on health that he's calculating, and he's realizing he has to keep it for defense against my 2 flyers if he wants to stay alive. In the meantime, we have a nice little surprise that we can do with Luminous Broodmoth in the combination with Vigilance. We just have to wait for this guy to decide his turn's actually over. Maybe he had to go on a potty break. Wave. See if he's awake. Feed the bear. It could be that he's just turned rude because he realizes he can't win, because all he's got is a 2/2 flyer. And he probably doesn't have anything in his arsenal that can turn the balance in 2 turns. Although if he attacks with everything he's got, maybe he could have another chump blocker for another turn. See what else he draws. It's always hard to know if somebody had a network internet connection problem and they just got interrupted and they're gone, or if they decided that they're going to waste your time because they just realized they can't win. Either way, exciting gameplay. Okay, we may not get the chance to do what we were gonna do, so I guess I'll just spoil it and tell you. Since we have Vigilance, 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 I was just gonna attack with everybody anyway. I don't really care who he kills, because he's not gonna kill the Broodmoth. So anybody that dies becomes an untapped flying blocker for the next turn. And he may have realized that, which is why he roped. Either way, Vigilance helped us out with that. And we get a Warden of the Chained. Alright, that's the wrap up of the deck. Go ahead and change it so we can see. You can sort of see I think we've got enough in the mana curve in terms of 1-drops and 2-drops and 3-drops. There's a couple of cards that didn't really come up in our play, so we didn't really ever get to use the Realm-Cloaked Giant yet. But I think you got a good idea of what the deck is mostly composed of and how we can use things together. I might still, because flying is such a big threat, we do have a number of things that we can do against them. We've got Swift Response that we can use against flyers. We've got Banishing Light. We've got Legion's Judgment in case one of the flyers gets really big. Crystalline Giant can get flying later. We've got the Sentinel Spider that has reach. And we have Elder Gargaroth, and we have Serra Angel who's flying. You would think that would be enough. We do have a Baneslayer Angel as well in our deck that didn't come up, as well as the Broodmoth. That's actually a lot of flying threats, but sometimes what you're going up against is just all flyers these days. So, maybe put in something instead of Return to Nature, put in one of the other green spells that cost 1 extra mana that you can use to destroy either an artifact enchantment or a flying creature, something like that. With my luck, the moment I do that, suddenly I'm going against all ground red aggro and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's Vigilance for you. I hope you liked the deck. Hope you liked what you saw. If you did like anything of what you saw, this is a new channel. Help us out. Hit that like channel, or hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to have some more stuff coming for you. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to release another video that will concentrate on another metric. And we'll let that be a surprise for now. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.